Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Real Me and a movie podcast, where you didn't really ask for it, but hey, I'm going to give it to you anyways. This is a podcast where I talk about anything, everything, anything about movies. I'm your host, Chase Lee, and hey, listen, if you were searching on the internet for some random cream pie videos and you wanted to make a recipe and it was your grandma, and then she came across some really weird sexual videos, and she accidentally came across my podcast, or you came across my podcast, and you're not a movie fan, well, hey, maybe I can convince you to be one. So, guys, this is episode 120. This is a pretty good episode, in my opinion. I do like both of the movies that came out this weekend. Just a little heads up, a little clue into my reviews. But if you are new to this show, what I do is I'll go over some movie news, some movie trailers, and my reviews of Zootopia and London Has Fallen, as well as the box office results for the weekend. And it will be a lot of fun. Not really. You will want to go cry afterwards. So let's get a little housekeeping out of the way. If you're watching on YouTube and you want an audio-only version of this podcast, the link will be in the description below for that. If you are listening on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, or iTunes now, yes, I'm on iTunes. Thanks to my friend Christopher Duke, good old Chrissy Duke. He basically told me, it's super simple. And then he taught me, and now I feel dumb for not doing it before. So I'm on all those platforms now. So, but if you want a video version of the podcast and you are listening on the Spreaker and iHeartRadio and stuff, link will be in the description below for that. So without any further ado, I'm by myself this week. There's no guest. And so let's get this going. If you want to tweet at me while you're watching the show or whatever, you want to ask me any questions, then if you're watching on YouTube, it's right there at Real Chase Lee. And the cool thing about YouTube is if you're watching and you have all these headers down at the bottom, so if you want to skip a section, you want to skip the news trailers, and you want to go straight to the reviews or whatever, you do that, and you just watch until the header changes, and you can skip around. All right. So first of all, how you guys doing? You guys doing pretty good this weekend? This was a pretty good weekend for movies. Not going to lie. I enjoyed this weekend quite a bit, and it's my final weekend before I go to South by Southwest next weekend, so I was hoping for a good one to send off with, and it was a pretty good one. So, but before we get into my my movie reviews of London Has Fallen and Zootopia, let's start out with some movie news. All right, so there wasn't really that much movie news that came out. It was slim pickings, just like last week, but I picked out a couple of them, and the first one is that Suicide Squad comes out in August, and I'm looking forward to it actually way more than Batman v Superman, which, I'm excited to see as well. But Suicide Squad, there's just something about that trailer that's just so fucking kinetic and just energized and colorful, and it has great characters, and they just boast well on screen, and you just really want to see them in action. So the news is that Warner Brothers is actually going to go into production with a Suicide Squad 2 next year to have a 2018 release, I believe. So that is fucking awesome. I love the fact that Warner Brothers is going, you know what? They go into a boardroom, they unzip their pants, and they just flap their balls right on the table, and you go, you know what? We are confident in this project, and we are going to roll with the sequel even before we even contract the numbers to see how well it will do. So that shows confidence. It shows that there's going to be more story that can be told, and that actually gets me more excited to see Suicide Squad. So Suicide Squad 2 is in production next year. That is their plan. Now, listen, that could all change. If Suicide Squad comes out in August and it bombs, oh, yeah, they're going to pull that sequel and just act like they never even mentioned it. The reason why I bring this up is before Fantastic Four came out, Fantastic Fox, 20th Century Fantastic Fox. That sounds like a really terrible B movie. No, 20th Century Fox, they said that the sequel is going to come out in 2017, I believe. And as soon as the Fantastic Four reboot, remake, whatever you want to call it, came out and it was received very, very poorly, they pretty much pulled the plug. There was no fucking way that it was going to be made at all whatsoever, because that movie bombed critically, financially. It was just a humongous dud that I don't want to ever speak about ever again. But of course I have to in situations like this. But Suicide Squad 2, that just shows me that Warner Brothers is confident. They want to roll with it. And that just gets me more excited for Suicide Squad. So that's basically all that story had to offer. But I do like the confidence coming off of the testicles of Warner Brothers. But if they're brothers, then we're looking at 4 testicles. All right, so the next piece of news is that, speaking of scheduling and moving around and dropping stuff, 20th Century Fox. They are dropping the Gambit movie as of right now. They're dropping it from the schedule, which was supposed to come out this year in October. They're dropping it, and they'll probably move it around and rethink it and stuff. I think this is a smart move. And I've been listening to other podcasts and stuff like Collider Movie Talk and all that stuff, and I agree with their sentiments. And I've been saying this for ever since Deadpool came out, which was, wow, it's almost a month ago. Listen, Deadpool was $58 million. Very, very, very low for a superhero movie. And as it stands right now, before I get into the box office results, the last time I checked, it was like 600-something worldwide. Totally crushed. With Gambit, 20th Century Fox wanted to make this movie for about $150 to $200 million. Why? If you can make Deadpool, which is kind of like an unknown property to many moviegoers, and you can bank that much money on it, shouldn't you do the same with your other projects? Make Gambit lower cost. That way, if it's not received well, it can at least not do as much damage as if you were to put $200 million into it. So I think that makes plenty of sense. I think after the success of Deadpool, just like many other podcasts are talking about, I think 20th Century Fox just kind of looked at it like, what the fuck are we doing, man? What is this? Why are we spending $200 million on fucking Gambit? No one even knows outside of Geek Universe. They don't even know who Gambit is. The last time he was portrayed was in X-Men Origins Wolverine, but no one even likes to talk about that fucking movie. So putting $200 million in an unknown like X-Men, kind of like that with the public, not a good strategy. So rethink it, cut some shit, work some stuff around, bring that cost down to maybe even, I don't know, 75 to 100 million. I think it should be more than Deadpool, but I don't think it should be, an extreme amount like 200 million, because Gambit is he's got magic, mystical magic powers. I don't know much about the character, but I do know that he uses a lot of sorcery stuff with his hands, and that costs money out of the special effects. So I mean, I get that. That's going to cost money. Deadpool, you didn't need that much because there's hardly any special effects in it. It's just Deadpool flipping around or maybe some blood or whatever. It's not like that extensive. So them dropping Gambit from the schedule, I think they just realized that they shouldn't be spending this much money on it after the success of Deadpool. So is it going to come out? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think Channing Tatum will still play Gambit. And I'm very curious to see what they would do with a Gambit movie. But I'm not like one of those guys that's like jumping up and down for it, like a Civil War or Batman v Superman, or even standalones like a Black Panther or Captain Marvel, or even WB's lineup. Like I'm really excited to see the Wonder Woman movie, the Flash and stuff. It's just when you look at all the slates from everyone, Gambit is like the least one I'm excited for. So them dropping it from the schedule does not. I'm not going to go cry myself to sleep. Oh, I might, but I'm kidding. It's just. They'll probably rethink it. And will it come out soon? I don't think it will. I think it maybe 2017. No, sorry. 2018 is probably the closest is when it's going to even hit, even if it does. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things where, I know Channing Tatum still wants to do it. I know he still wants to star in it and stuff. That's fine. They just need to rework it and find a better solution to this overblown money problem, because you don't need it to be costing that much. All right. Then the last piece of news. Okay. So Alex Proyas, the director of Gods of Egypt, which I did not see, so I will not be attacking the movie because I have not seen it, but I have seen the trailers, so I'll attack the trailers. The trailers are shit. They're absolute dog shit. They're the type of shit that to where if you shit in your pants and you have to walk around for like 5 hours after the fact and you can't get to a bathroom, you don't have any new clothes, and you just have to sit in that waste for 5 hours. No one fucking likes that. That's what those movies kind of remind me of. It's just shit that just kind of was thrown on you and just stayed on you. It's like, can we just like get this off, please? So I didn't like any of the trailers. I maybe have liked the cheesiness of it, but overall, I was still not excited to see the movie, nor did I see it. So, I saved myself some money. So apparently Alex Proyas was like really going after critics hard for disliking his movie and tearing it apart, saying that all critics are dying or disease vultures, and they're worthless. He just went on this rant. Now I can see two sides to this. One side being I get the passionate stance behind him, because he did pour a lot of his time, effort, and money into this type of movie to where if it got bashed after 3 years of work, within 2 hours of releasing it, it's like, yeah, that kind of stings a little bit. But at the same time, this is that business. This business is brutal. If you think critics are harsh, go on fucking IMDb message boards. Those kids are ruthless. They're like fucking savages, man. They'll tear a movie apart and like throw its dead carcass on the side of the road and like let it just sit there and dry up in the sun. They're way worse than what critics are, but critics have a voice, and when they say a movie blows, it's gonna blow. And if it sucks to high hell, then you just have to deal with it. There's gonna be some people that have that opinion. Now, do I think he should have went on that Facebook rant? It's his career. I mean, if he wants to do that, that's fine. I've said some stupid shit on Facebook, and do I regret most of it? Well, yeah, but I don't. It's just one of those things where, like, in the moment, I thought it was fine or funny. I posted it, and it didn't really receive well with people, and people think I'm a douchebag. And that's just the way the internet works. The internet is brutal. I think what Alex Proyas has to understand is that there's gonna be some people that don't like movies. They're just not. Especially his movies. Like, I like The Crow quite a bit. I think The Crow is a really great kind of crime noir superhero movie. I like it a lot. I even like iRobot. I think that's a really fun movie. But I didn't see Gods of Egypt, so I can't knock on the movie. But from the trailers, it looked like it was over bloated, just poorly acted, poorly written, and just poorly constructed. So I really didn't have to see the movie. But from what he was saying is that, it just sounds like he was butthurt, and, he didn't like the way the critics were destroying him. And it's like, that's the way most of them feel. Now, listen, I have made short films in the past, and there's been some fine criticism. There's been some good criticism. There's been some poor criticism. I've been told that I'm a very one-note type of storyteller. I tell it from point A to point B. I don't really go outside the box. I'm very basic. I'm okay with that. As long as I know I have a good story, then I will present it. I don't need to make it all fancy and stuff because that's not the way I roll. But I've had people, comment on my stuff and didn't really care for it. Okay, you just move on. And I think being in this, YouTube kind of critic space, it's like I realize people fucking hate me. And I realize people will badmouth me. And I realize people will leave nasty comments. Guess what, folks? That's a part of the game. Okay, I didn't get on the internet expecting for everyone to kiss my nutsack and just praise the glory or whatever. No, I realize that there's a lot of people out there who do not care for me. That's okay. Because, the small people that do listen to my stuff, you guys are the only people I go after anyways. I entertain you guys and bring in new people when they do find me entertaining or informative or whatever. But as far as like the people that hate me and don't really leave positive comments or whatever, I can't do anything about that. That's just express your opinion, man. Get that rage off your chest. You want to spend 10 seconds of your life badmouthing me and typing a comment in the comment section? That's kind of awesome. Like, you want to spend your hatred on me. So I don't know. I find it kind of cool. But yeah, as far as like Alex Proyas going after the critics like that, listen, I get it, man. You worked a lot on that movie, and if it's not received well, then take it on the chin, man, and fucking move on. That's all I can tell you. Just, go to your next project or take a break for a little bit, come back. There's many ways you could have gone about this, and doing a Facebook post, even though I'm not totally against it, because like I said, I've posted some stupid shit on Facebook, so I'm not going to completely dog him for that. But just cool it, man. We're not evil people. Like, I think I'm a pretty fair critic. I think that if I really hate a movie, I will tear into it. Most movies I see, like, I would say 90% of the movies I think are fine or okay. A movie doesn't really get under my skin unless there's just unlikable characters, or if it's just like so poorly done, I just have to call them out. But for the most part, I think most of the movies I see are fine at best, just okay, just right down the middle. And then I'll have ones that I really like it, think they're really good or really great or excellent. And then I'll have the shit piles, but I really don't see many shit piles that often because I steer clear from them, because you guys know that if it looks like crap, I don't need to review it for you guys. So yeah, that's just my whole 2 cents on that. So Alex Proyas, just calm down, buddy. Go eat a sandwich or something. Go take a nap. I don't know. Go pet your hamster. I don't know. Just go fucking relieve some stress. Just you'll be fine. It's okay. You can make more projects. It's not like this was your final project or anything. Or if it is, then that kind of blows. All right, so that is it for the movie news, guys. What did you guys think of the movie news? Comment the place right up on my face and let me know. So let's get on to the trailers. Okay, so I know which one you guys want me to talk about the most, but I'm going to leave that one for last because that one's gotten the most criticism this week. So let's start with Louder Than Bombs. This is a Jesse Eisenberg movie, and from what I can gather, Jesse Eisenberg plays the older brother. He has a younger brother. Their mother dies in a car accident, and they have to deal with the grief and stuff. That's pretty much what I got from it. I actually really enjoyed this trailer. I thought it was really depressing because you know me, there's like that depressing shit. And I thought it was constructed really well, and I thought, hey, this could be a really good drama that could just kind of pop in the middle of the year, and I'll be like, huh, that was pretty good. I think people give Jesse Eisenberg too much shit. Excuse me. One of my favorite movies he's done is The Social Network. He's really great in that. I think he portrayed Mark Zuckerberg very well. I love the way he delivered the Aaron Sorkin dialogue, sharp, witty, quick, you name it. And then I saw the end of the tour last year with him and Jason Segel, and Jesse Eisenberg is the main character. He's a reporter following David Foster Wallace, who was played by Jason Segel, and it's just a really good, like, kind of tender friendship that was built upon them two, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed his performance. He looks really great here. I think Jesse Eisenberg gets too much shit because he kind of came into the spotlight after Michael Cera, even though they've been acting around the same amount of time. He came in after Michael Cera, so it looked like he was the Michael Cera ripoff. I get that, but at the same time, I think the guy's uber talented. I love Zombieland. I love Adventureland, Social Network, The End of the Tour and stuff. And he's been in some smaller stuff. Like, I really didn't mind 30 Minutes or Less. I thought he was pretty funny in that, even though Aziz was like the one pitching most of the funny lines. But I think he's a very charismatic actor, and he's really good, in my opinion. But, sue me. But Louder Than Bombs looks pretty good. It looks like a really good drama about grief and stuff, and I'm excited to see it. So if you want to see a depressing movie about someone losing a parent, check that one out. I'd highly suggest it. The next one is a documentary called A Beautiful Planet, and it's narrated by Jennifer Lawrence, J-Law, good old J-Law. And basically it's just a document. It's one of those Earth documentaries that it just focuses on the planet Earth. And it probably has a lot of NASA shots and stuff, and it shows, you know, the planet in its true form at night, during the day, yada, yada, yada. It was pretty good. I've actually been a fan of those kind of Disney nature movies, even though this isn't Disney nature. Kind of like the oceans, Earth, Animal Kingdom, Monkey Kingdom, all Cat Kingdom, whatever fucking kingdom that they've made. I'm sure they've made Lemur Kingdom, and I just missed it. But, you know, I like the Earth documentaries and stuff, and it kind of just makes you appreciate, you know, the fucking rock that we're living on, man, because this is all we are. We're just small-ass little particles in space living on this floating rock. And I think this documentary had a lot of good imagery. I loved all the outer space shots, and to see Earth at nighttime and stuff, and see all the lights from the cities, and, you know, the green aurora lights or whatever from the north. It's so beautiful, man. It's a good looking documentary. And it's one of those movies that you check out like in IMAX. And I really love those kind of like documentaries on Earth and all that stuff. And it just looks really good. I don't know if I get sent to a screening or if it comes out and I want to see it, I'll definitely see it. But it looks pretty good. So A Beautiful Planet, another good one for the week. Okay, so these next four are kind of either so-so or like what the fuck type of trailers. Let's start with Finding Dory, because I don't think this is the worst one of the week, but I'm like, Finding Dory is the sequel to Finding Nemo, and I'm really looking forward to it. Finding Nemo is not my top 5 Pixar movies, but I did really enjoy it when I saw it. I think it came out when I was like 13 or whatever. I saw it in theaters. I own it on DVD. I've seen it numerous times, and oh my God. When we had movie day in fucking middle school and high school, everyone brought that freaking movie. It's like, guys, children of the classroom, we've seen this fucking movie like 1,000 times. We don't need to see it again. Just let's calm down. Let's watch something else. But we'd always watch Finding Nemo. Now with the Finding Dory trailer, it shows us the story of Dory, you know, played by Ellen DeGeneres, and she remembers that she has parents and stuff, and she wants to go find them. I think that's a fine story. The story is not what bothers me. It's just the trailers. They don't have that Pixar magic and that grab that just like it just grabs you. Pixar's like, watch this fucking movie. It's delicious. That's why I felt with Inside Out. I think Inside Out is going to be an animated classic down the line, and I think it's just one of those movies that it's important for all ages. A Good Dinosaur was whatever. So I think Finding Dory kind of falls in that good dinosaur category so far. It looks fine. It looks like they're really going back to the sequel and stuff, but my God, there's something about the trailer that just kind of like reeks of a Cars 2 almost, where it's just like, it looks like a cashed-in sequel versus like a sequel that was well thought out. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I go in there, I sit down, and I'm blown away so much that I'm just like, well, fuck me, right? That Pixar movie was pretty good. But no, this trailer is just fun. It's okay. I didn't think any of the jokes hit particularly well with me. Even though I do like Ellen DeGeneres as Dory. She's, clueless and all that stuff, but she's very, very likable, and that's what she kind of brings to the character. And I love Albert Brooks as the father of Nemo. So I'm looking forward to it. It's just the trailer is like, okay. So the next trailer I want to talk about is Nina, and this is the biopic on Nina Simone, and she is a jazz musician, pianist, singer. She's one of those like famous ones back in the day. I'm not really much of a jazz person myself, but when it's on, I'll listen to it. But Nina stars Zoe Saldana. The trailer looks fine. It looks like a typical biopic. Here's the issue that lies with the movie and with a lot of people. Nina Simone is a little darker than Zoe Saldana. Zoe Saldana has kind of got like a caramel skin, and Nina Simone's a little darker. It's not a problem, but a lot of people online are really hating the fact that Zoe Saldana is basically blackfacing it when she is black. Now, she's not all the way black. I think she's got – I forgot what other heritage she has in her, but she's like a mix of everything. That's but you can definitely tell she looks like she's like from I don't know, like Jamaica, I believe. I think that's where she said. I forgot. I don't look into celebrities' lineages, so sue me. But the trailer's fine. It's a typical biopic. But everyone online was raging hard when they're just like, why would you blackface Zoe Saldana? And when you watch the trailer, you can kind of pick it out in a couple of scenes, actually. Her face is a lot darker than her neck. And listen, do I think blackfacing is really good for movies? No, it's not. If Zoe Saldana was your pick, you should have just kept her original skin color and just, aged her face to the appropriate age or whatever. And that's another problem. Zoe Saldana is not that old. Nina Simone, I don't know what time period they're going to take place in this biopic, but Zoe Saldana is like way younger than a typical actress that could play Nina Simone. So I don't know. That's a whole different story. But in terms of the blackfacing thing, I can kind of see it in a couple shots, and I can see why I can bug some people. I just really hope in the movie it's not noticeable to where no one really thinks about it, and they just kind of get enveloped in her performance and stuff. I think that's what's going to really drive the movie and drive the positive word of mouth and stuff, because the whole blackfacing thing, I actually agree. I saw it in a couple of scenes, and it's not good, man. Like, that's I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it because the trailer's fine. If I see it, I see it. But for the people that are getting really mad for the blackfacing thing, I get it. I totally get it. And if that was such an issue, they should have just casted a really good actress with that skin color, so you wouldn't have to put all that makeup on and make it look really bad. So, the trailer's, it's whatever, but I just, I had to bring up that whole blackfacing thing because that was a huge thing from that trailer when it dropped. Like, every single news story was like, people online are outraged from the color of her skin. And it's like, oh God, here we go again. All right, so the next one, oh dear Lord. This one's called Boo! A Medea Halloween. If you think I'm fucking making that up, you go online and you soil yourself for 40 seconds straight because that's how long the teaser is. Essentially, it just kind of opens up and Medea comes out of her house with a shotgun scaring away zombies. And she's like, I'm Medea, bitch. It's Halloween, bitch. Here's my shotgun, bitch. I don't know. You know what's really funny about this? Like, this was a nice little switcheroo from Tyler Perry. So he does this final like Medea movie. It was like in 2012 or whatever. You know, it's whatever. It makes money. He kind of goes off the map for about a year, and then he comes back in Gone Girl, and it's like, oh well, maybe he's taking a different turn in his life, and he doesn't want to do these Medea movies anymore. You know, Gone Girl came out 2 years ago, so it's like okay. And I think in the following year he did like some other smaller roles, so it's like, oh wow, he's getting away from the Medea thing, and that's fantastic. And then I was just graced with his presence in this fucking Halloween trailer. He's back as Medea after like a 4-year gap. Okay, so am I excited for this? Hell to the fuck no. Are there people that are excited for it? Yeah. There are people out there that are Medea fans. I get it. Just not for me. I've seen a couple of Tyler Perry's movies as Medea or whatever. I actually prefer like the other themes and elements to the movie that are not Medea related. Like, domestic abuse or, family problems or violence or whatever. All those themes that run throughout the movie are actually better than the Medea bits. And I just can't stand them. And the fact that Tyler Perry's doing a Halloween special with the Medea character, it's like someone just walked into a fucking room, they crop dusted and just left, man. They crop dusted, didn't explain why, and they're just like, that stench is there for a little bit. Enjoy it. No, Tyler Perry, I will not enjoy it. Boo. A Medea Halloween is a thing. The teaser trailer is online. Check it out at your own risk. Okay. So the final trailer. The trailer that you guys all wanted me to talk about, because it's the trailer that caused the most disparaging results on YouTube that I've seen in quite some time. At the recording of this episode, I checked it online, and it's got 153,000 likes and 312,000 dislikes. That's a shit ton. What trailer am I talking about? I'm talking about the Ghostbusters remake with Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones. Directed by Paul Feig, who did Bridesmaids, The Heat, and Spy. Now, I really like Bridesmaids a lot, and I actually do like The Heat quite a bit, even, and I blind bought it too. Spy, I didn't really care for. I think Jason Statham was the only good part in the movie in terms of like humor. Everything else was whatever. Ghostbusters. Now, I've only seen Ghostbusters 1 and 2 maybe once, and I liked it. I think they're very entertaining movies and stuff. I know that these movies have such a huge cult following. And a lot of people online are really pissed that they're women. And they, it's a reboot or whatever, remake, whatever the fuck. And, none of the original cast members are going to really be prominent characters. They're going to be cameos, but that's about it. I got to tell you right now, I don't care that Ghostbusters remade for women, like remade with women in them. I don't care about that. As long as the movie's good, you could fucking cast a dog, a cactus, a piece of paper, and like a wet shoe as your main cast, and I would still go fucking see it if it's delivered well. Now, a lot of people hate the fact that they're women and they're not the original guys or guys in general. I don't feel that way. What I do feel, though, is that the trailer sucks. It sucks hard. Not because they're women, because it's simply not funny. They were trying too hard in the trailer. It didn't grab me one bit in terms of the humor and just the way it was constructed. I hated the product placement of fucking Blu-ray and Crackle in the movie. And I know it's done by Sony, but it's like, Sony, calm the fuck down, please. It's just not funny at all. I didn't think any of the jokes worked. I thought they were too forced. But I do like the special effects. I think the ghosts look really cool, especially updated to 2016. I thought Slimer looked really cool. Listen, if this movie comes out and there's positive reviews, that's awesome. I'm still going to see this movie regardless. The first trailer to Bridesmaids, I didn't really care for, but I thought Bridesmaids was awesome. I didn't really care for the Spy trailers, and I was right about the movie, didn't really care for it, except for Jason Statham. Now for the Heat, I didn't see the Heat in theaters, but I didn't really care for the trailers either, but I really liked it when I saw it. So I think just Paul Feig's trailers in general are just cut poorly, and then they're received very well when they actually hit theaters. So I don't know. I don't need to talk about this for a long time because trailer reviewing is just not something I'm really well into. I'm terrible at it, guys. Like even to this day, I don't know how to review trailers because we're judging 2.5 minutes of a movie, and it's like I get it, but you have to find stuff to talk about. And I think just for this one, I have to address all the elephants in the room and people really dogging on this movie because it stars women. Those people are fucking idiots, and they're never going to get touched by a woman in their life. And they're going to just live in their mother's basement, eating Cheetos and drinking Mountain Dew Code Red, and just like playing Call of Duty for the rest of their life, yelling at 12-year-olds when they're like 35 years old. Okay, they're sexist pieces of shit, and they're terrible. The fucking YouTube comments are like a cesspool in general. There's some good positive constructive criticism, but for the most part, people are just idiots or douchebags, and those people that just hate it because they're women, they're just awful fucking people, and they should just go rot somewhere on an island, maybe get eaten by a panther. I don't know, maybe get molested by a troll or a leprechaun. I don't know, that'd be kind of cool. So those people can suck it. But in terms of me, I don't care. Like I said, they're women. Trailer just wasn't funny. But I do like the special effects, though. I'm going to see this movie, so we'll just see how it plays out. So I'm hoping for the best because I do like majority of Paul Feig's movies. And he also created one of my favorite shows, Freaks and Geeks. So there you go. Okay, so that's it for the trailers, guys. Comment in the place for up on my face and let me know what trailers you thought were the best or the worst. Did you think Ghostbusters was as bad as they say, or is it good or whatever? I just didn't really care for it. Didn't like it at all. It just wasn't funny. But I want to hear your thoughts down below. All right, so let's get into the movie reviews. Now, I have 2 of them to do, and I don't know which one to start with. I think I'm going to do London Has Fallen, and I'll end with Zootopia. So if you don't want to hear my London Has Fallen review and you've already seen it on my YouTube page, you can skip a few minutes if you're listening on the audio version. If you're watching on YouTube, just watch the header change down below, and then when it gets to the Zootopia header, it'll start there. So let's do London Has Fallen. Here we go. All right. So a little backstory. I did not see Olympus Has Fallen, but it was a huge success when it came out that year. It was also the same year that White House Down came out. I remember Olympus Has Fallen did way better critically and financially than White House Down. And it's like, that's kind of weird because you figure White House Down with Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx, that would do better than Gerard Butler and Aaron Eckhart. But, everyone prevailed, and they went to Olympus Has Fallen, and it became a kind of like a action cult success. And a lot of people were comparing it to Die Hard and stuff, and it was like, that's the Die Hard sequel that we needed, unlike a Live Free or Die Hard. So going into this movie, I didn't really expect much. I just wanted to be entertained and have characters go from point A to point B, see awesome action sequences, and see Gerard Butler's kicking ass. And did I get that? Fuck yeah, I did. Let's get real and break this down. Now, I'm not going to go like too far in depth into this movie because it's a one-note movie, but it does it so well to where I can't bash it on certain things because it's like it knows what it wanted to be, and it went for it. It didn't hold anything back. So let's start with the directing and the writing. Now, it's written and directed with such 90s cheese and excitement and 90s action sequences to where I was like, I'm glad the director really embraced what he had and just fucking went for it, didn't hold anything back, and just made it just an explosive adventure of Gerard Butler trying to save the president. And I really enjoyed it. The story's simple. It's exciting. And you figure with a thin story like that, it would get boring. No, it was actually exciting from beginning to end. I really enjoyed myself. I took my girlfriend to see it, and she likes action movies a lot, and she thought it was really well done as well. So overall, is the writing like spectacular? No. There's some really cool one-liners though from Gerard Butler and Aaron Eckhart that I really enjoyed. The only bad thing I would say about the story is there was like a mole section where someone was infiltrating or whatever, and they had to go catch him. that was a pointless section in the movie. It fell out of place, and the movie kind of ends, and then the movie still continues. Like, it ends with this prominent story, and then it continues with the mole stuff. I'm just like, why? That was pointless. The whole mole thing, it just fell out of place. I didn't really care for it. So you take that out, you're good to go. And another thing I have to address is the director really kind of went for kind of like a cautionary tale for drones and drone strikes and stuff, because this movie starts with a drone and it ends with a drone. And it shows us the horrors of attacking a wrong person that has a lot of power and stuff and can really come and attack us as a country and stuff. So there's that cautionary tale of like, don't be just fucking dropping bombs everywhere if you don't know exactly what's around there. And then at the same time, if there are a bunch of assholes and you have to go track them down and you find them and you need to bomb them for whatever sake, then that's what they're there for. But drones are tricky, man, because I don't like the fact that drones are used to just go kill random people and stuff, only to get the people that you need to get. But you have to be careful what's around you and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, if they are so fucking deadly and like they're going to cause like serious harm to other people, it's like, I don't know, man. It kind of messes with my morality a bit. And so I thought he, as a director, had some really interesting commentary on drones and basically ISIS, because this movie was an ISIS movie. And I thought, it's not like anything you would delve in deep to and like figure out the philosophy of it, but it is there and it is apparent. That's what I saw, but many people may not see that. Let's get into the acting. Gerard Butler was born to play this role. I think what I really like about Gerard Butler is he embraces this role. He doesn't try to make it anything more than it is. He runs with the cheesiness of it, and the gritty action. Excuse me. I just think ever since 300, he hasn't really found his franchise, and I think this is it. I think he fits in this very well. I love Aaron Eckhart in anything. One of my favorite movies is Thank You for Smoking that he's done. He's just a really well-rounded actor. And I love Morgan Freeman. I am Morgan Freeman. I am the president of the United States. That was a terrible Freeman impression. I will never do that again. But the thing with Morgan Freeman is that he wasn't even in the movie that much. And it's like, oh, man, I want more Freeman. Who doesn't want more Morgan Freeman? Everyone does. If Morgan Freeman could just, like, I don't know, read me an audiobook or, like, read out my tax forms to me, I would be so happy. As far as the other actors go, it's whatever. No one's really memorable or anything. No one really sticks out except for them three. And it's basically Gerard Butler and Aaron Eckhart's show. And I think they did very well. The one thing I will say, though, I forgot to say in the directing and writing, but it has to do with Gerard's character. I know he's a security guard and he's supposed to kill anything that tries to attack the president. But dear God, the violence in this movie was so gritty and so brutal. I felt like he was actually stabbing people, or I felt like he was actually shooting people. It was like realistic violence, and I was like, oh my God, like what the fuck is going on? So, yeah, his character stabs a lot of people, stabs them multiple times in a row, and it's like, oh wow, this is interesting violence. So, yeah, I thought the acting all around is very well handled. Cinematography. The pros about it is I like the action sequences quite a bit. I think the action sequences were really well done. I love the fact that the movie starts, literally, it's like 10 minutes into the movie, the attack in London happens, and it's like, oh my God, like they are not wasting any time. They're going for it. I thought the action scenes were really well handled. They were really gritty and brutal, like I said. And the director also threw in a one-shot in the streets. It was at nighttime. It was really well done. Gerard Butler shooting. Camera spins around, car blows up or whatever, goes back to Gerard, and he was doing his thing, going behind a wall. Bullets are coming, and then you would see a couple of times where they would do the edit where smoke would happen, and then he would kind of emerge from the smoke, and it would be like the continuous one shot or whatever. But it was a one shot. Still, it doesn't matter if it's edited or not. It makes it seem like it's a one shot. That was really cool. I really like seeing that. Some of the well-lit scenes and some of the daytime scenes did kind of seem like a set to me in some of the enclosed areas, not the outside stuff, but the enclosed stuff. So that might be some of the cons for the cinematography. But once again, if you're trying to make your movie look like a 90s movie, and it succeeds, it's like I really can't dog the cinematography that much. I mean, it's a well shot studio movie. So I don't know what I'm bitching. Editing and special effects. Listen, I think for a movie that is an hour and 40 minutes, an hour and a half, this movie flies by. Like I said, it's literally point A to point B, thrill ride from start to finish. This is exactly what Mad Max Fury Road was. It was from point A to point B. There's a little more depth, and the action sequences are better, but it's in that same type of story path. So I think it was overall entertaining enough to where I don't think you would feel it drag ever. Special effects wise, listen, there's some special effects that look really cheesy and really corny. Like some explosions looked really well done, but then there were some that was like, oh my God, this looks like a 1993 like computer background picture. So I don't know. It looked really bad, but once again, if you're going for a cheesy 90s effects and feel to it, then they succeeded. So overall, guys, London Has Fallen. I really enjoyed it. Didn't see the first one. I thought Gerard Butler and Aaron Eckhart had great chemistry together. I thought the action sequence was really well done. I was just fucking entertained from start to finish. There's nothing more I can say. I'm giving London Has Fallen a B+. I think it's a very entertaining movie, and I think you like the first one, you'll like this one. If you didn't like the first one, you probably won't like this one. And if you want just a entertaining action movie, I'd suggest it. I think it's a nice little movie. I was entertained. So there you go. So what do you guys think of London Has Fallen? Comment in that place to roll my face and let me know. Yeah, I think I'll definitely check out the first one eventually. I think it's on Netflix. So yeah, if you are curious about the first one, I believe it's on Netflix. So go ahead and check it out. All right, so let's get into Zootopia. Now, I grew up with Disney. I did. And I grew up with Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Little Mermaid. I grew up with all those. Disney's been kind of slipping, in the middle of the 2000s or whatever. And then, they come back with the resurgence of, Tangled and Frozen and Wreck-It Ralph and Big Hero 6 and now Zootopia. This is on the same level as with me as Wreck-It Ralph in terms of this is going to be an animation classic down the line. And to me, Zootopia is perfect. I liked everything about this movie. Didn't have any problems with it. So let's get real and break this down. Start with the directing and the writing because this is the most important thing about this movie. Let's start with the writing and the story. I thought the story was really well crafted. It was smart. It was funny. There was a lot of stuff going on with the world building. It was so immersive. And I love the fact that they really went there, the writer and the directors and stuff, went there with the humor and went there with the social commentary about race and dirty politics. I fucking loved that. And this is a movie that adults will appreciate more than kids. As I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, we're in a fucking general election mode right now, with our candidates for presidency, and this movie reflects all of that. And it's like, this is so fucking smart. It's awesome. So I thought the writing was really sharp. I thought it was really funny, really creative with some of its humor. And the world building is some of the best world building I've ever seen in an animated movie. I love the fact that they each have their own sanctions. Like you have the Sahara, the tundra, the rainforest, and you have Zootopia, which is downtown. And you have animals to size. That's what I really appreciate about this movie. The animals are to size. So the mouses are fucking tiny. The elephants are fucking huge. When you take the train, you have doors for the giraffes and you have doors for the smaller animals and then smaller for the rodents. It's so creative and so inventive in its world building. It's just outstanding to watch. You need to see this movie again and again to kind of catch all the side jokes and just how everything's constructed and everything. I love the world building so much in this movie. I love the messages behind it. Like I said, I don't need to say any more. I just will tell you that they do a lot of risk in this movie. I think it really pays off in terms of racism, hatred in politics, and spewing that hatred out into the public and dividing people. It was just so great to see because I was sitting there going, wow, none of these fucking kids in this audience are going to get this. But hopefully when they get older, they'll understand it. I hope the adults will or their parents will teach them and everything, because it was just really well done. I loved the writing of this. I loved the directing. It was just so charming, so entertaining. It was funny. It was dramatic. The characters were deeply layered, and I was like, oh my God, there was so much thought process into this. The only problem that some people might have is the villain and how cliche it is. I didn't find that whatsoever. I found it to be, it wasn't surprising, but I was like, oh, you bastard, you fucking bastard, you. So that's kind of my thought process on it. And like I said, there's a lot of adult jokes in this. One of my favorite ones is at the very beginning. I'm not going to say what it is, but I saw it and I was like, that was super hilarious. And me and the teenager sitting next to me, I think he was with his mom, he was laughing so hard at it because we both knew. We both had dirty minds. We're like, yeah, we know what they did there. So the directing writing is just so damn good in this movie. Acting-wise, you want to talk about the voice casting? I think Jennifer Goodwin is Judy Hopps, the little bunny that wants to be a police officer. She was really well casted in this. I thought her voice was really sweet. It was charming. It could be fierce when it wanted to be fierce. It was just, it fit that bunny so well. Jason Bateman as the fox. He was born to play a fox. Like, his voice suited that slyness, that cockiness of a fox. And I was like, Jason Bateman's sarcasm was sprinkled all throughout that fox, and it worked out so well. J.K. Simmons plays the lion. His voice is always great. Idris Elba plays a fucking bull, and he is so awesome as a bull. Like, when he talks on screen, you're like, yeah, if Idris Elba was an animal, he fit really well in like a bull or like a ram or something, that type of strong horned animal. And it's just he was really good. Just all around the voice casting was great, but I love the chemistry between Jason Bateman and Jennifer Goodwin. I think their chemistry worked really well, and I think it's really ambiguous with their relationship. We don't know if they're friends or if they're going to be interspecies relationship. It was kind of unknown in the movie, which I really liked, but I did like the bond that they had. Cinematography-wise, beautiful, gorgeous, fucking detailed as all hell. Once again, going back to the world building, it's so detailed. The streets, the shops, the cars, the trains, little towns. One of my favorite scenes is when Judy Hopps the bunny, and bunnies are not that big, so she's relatively small throughout Zootopia. She actually barges in on a it's kind of like their version of like Chinatown. It's like Mouse Town or something like that. And she's walking around. The mouse are like literally like the sides of her toe, and like they're running around and stuff. And like even that was like attention to detail, and just everything from, like I said, the buildings, the cars, and the characters themselves and stuff. It's ridiculous how gorgeously shot. Well, not shot, but you know what I mean. Like animation still has cinematography, but not shot with like a camera or anything. But just going from the different sanctions, like the Sahara, the tundra. When we were in the tundra, I felt cold. When we were in the rainforest, I felt humid. When we were in Zootopia, I felt like we were in downtown or something. Like, it was just, I love the way it was shot because the colors were so bright. They were so colorful. They were inviting for the kids, but layering in with that adult theme of the adult themes, I guess, of throughout the movie. So it was really smart on their end. Editing-wise, I was entertained throughout this whole thing. No problem with it. Paced well. Love the rhythm of it. It was a not a murder mystery, but it was like a mystery movie, because the movie starts out with Judy Hopps going to the police academy, and there's like 12 animals missing, so they have to go find them and stuff. So it's like a mystery movie, and she teams up with the fox, and they have to go find them and stuff. And I thought it was really interesting. I didn't expect that type of story, but all the scenes that you've seen from the trailer, especially the sloth scene in the DMV, it makes so much sense when you see it actually in context in the movie. So in that scene, I've seen the sloth scene so many times in the trailers, and I laughed every single time. In the movie, it's still just as funny, and it's even funnier because they extended it in a couple of parts, and I'm just like, this is so genius. So editing-wise, like I said, it's just so well paced out. I love the different type of story with it. I love the adult themes with it. It's so thought-provoking, and it's the type of movie that you need to watch to show people that people of different cultures and different religions and people with different skin color and with different viewpoints and stuff can all live together in harmony and work out as friends and just have your differences and not have it be filled with so much hatred and stuff. And it's so prominent to what's going on now, because this is not a politics show, but I will tell you that when I see a certain party's debates, I feel like they're spreading fear into people and they're dividing people even more. And Zootopia just shows you that don't do that. Don't fucking do that, man. Like, don't listen to dirty politicians. I mean, it's just so smart, guys. I cannot praise this movie higher. This is my new Wreck-It Ralph. Zootopia will go down as a classic. Hear me out. Just like Wreck-It Ralph, it will happen. Zootopia is a perfect film in every way, shape, and form. It is beautiful. It is gorgeous. It is deeply layered with emotional themes, with adult themes, with kid humor, with adult humor. The characters are well realized. The world building is insane. I'm going to give Zootopia an A+. I think this is just outstanding. It's one of the best movies of the year. Take it for what you will. Even if you don't think of it as highly as I do, I think you should still at least see it. And I think you should at least like it. Like, I can understand maybe people saying like it's okay, but like you gotta at least like this movie. Now, if someone hates it, I would like to know why. Because I'm really curious. But I like to have friendly debates with you guys. But in terms of this movie, in my eyes, it was a perfect animated movie that had so much more to it than what meets the eye in terms of like a colorful animation movie for kids. There's so much more to it. And I don't want to spoil anything or say any more. I just want you to go check it out for yourself. So have you seen Zootopia or have you even heard of it? Comment in the place to open my face and let me know. All right. So that's it, guys. That is it for the movie review. So let's get into the box office results for the weekend. How much did Zootopia make? How much did London Has Fallen made? Let's find out all these numbers. Number 5, Gods of Egypt with 5 more million on top of their like 17 last weekend. Right now, domestically, which is the U.S. and Canada, it's sitting at 22 million, and worldwide it's sitting at 72. Its budget's 140. It needs to make about 280 to break even. Yeah, it's not making that. It's pretty much done. Number 4 is actually a new release. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot with 7.6 million. Its budget is 35, so it needs to make about 70 to break even. What the fuck? Oh, wow. Well, I guess this is what happens when I do this live on air. So I went on to Box Office Mojo. I looked up the results and stuff, and they're in the process of updating their site right now. So, okay. Well, I got to do this on the spot then. How you guys doing? You guys doing pretty good? It's freaking ridiculous. Okay. I had to go to a different website. Sorry about that, guys. So Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, 7.6. 35 as the budget needs to make about 70. Was it made worldwide? Do they have these numbers? I don't go on this website, so I have no idea what the flip is going on. Yeah, I don't have the worldwide numbers on these, so sorry, guys. It's just domestically. Number 3 is Deadpool. They made another 16.4 million. Right now, its total gross domestically is 311. Oh, it does have worldwide numbers. I guess the other one just didn't have it. Worldwide, it's been 635 on a $58 million budget. They're doing just fine. Cannot wait for the sequel. I want to see Cable. Number 2 is London Has Fallen with 21.7 million. There's no worldwide numbers, and I don't know its budget. I apologize. This is what I get for. Okay, now Box Office Mojo is working, so sorry about that. London Has Fallen. The budget is 60 million, so it needs to make about 120 to break even. I don't know. It might have a bigger worldwide appeal, maybe. Let me check the first one. The first one made 98 domestically and 62 foreign, and made about 161 worldwide on a $70 million budget. So it made about 20 million, maybe 20 to 30 million profit. So I don't know. It looks like it did better domestically. So I don't know. We'll see. And then number one at the box office, Zootopia, with, get this, $73 million. Love that, love that, love that. And worldwide, it's made $232 million on its opening weekend. Congratulations, Disney. This was a winner for you guys. If you guys make a sequel, I'm okay with it. Just make it as thought-provoking and as interesting as the first one, and we'll be good to go. So that's it for the box office, guys. And that is it for the show. So let's wrap this up. I want to thank you guys for watching this. This has been episode 120 of this shitty-ass podcast. But, all you guys that listen out there, I appreciate you guys every single week listening. You guys are the people that keep me going and keep me wanting to do this. And I'm on iTunes now, so you can search me on iTunes, Reel Me In, a movie podcast. Subscribe there. Leave a comment. Leave a review. Tell your friends about it. Spread this podcast around like a fucking STD on the internet, and it'll be great. People will love it. They'll accept it. If you are watching on YouTube right now and you want an audio-only version of this podcast, then you can click on that link in the description below. If you're listening on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, or iTunes, and you want a video version of this podcast, link will be in the description below for that. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, if you're watching on YouTube, it's right here on the header, @RealChaseLee, R-E-L, Chase Lee. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You get to know when these things go live. I have a top 5 show with my friend Brian. I do movie reviews. And you'll want to subscribe because next week, for episode 121, will be my coverage of the first weekend of the South by Southwest Film Festival. I'm leaving Thursday night. I will be there next Friday, the 11th, I believe, the 12th and the 13th. So I'm going to be there that full weekend. All the movies I see will be on the podcast next weekend. And I will have individual reviews for all the movies on my YouTube channel and stuff. And check out the channel I'm going for, We Live Film. .com. It's We Live Entertainment on YouTube, and I will have all my reviews for all those as well. So yeah, next weekend will be the first weekend coverage of South by Southwest. That following weekend will be the second weekend of South by Southwest. So there's gonna be 2 podcasts filled with South by Southwest, and who knows, for the second one I might do Daredevil as well. Maybe like watch the first couple episodes of season 2 and review that for you guys. I don't know, but just it'll be something. It might be South by Southwest and something else, but I know for sure it'll be South by Southwest for the next 2 weeks. And then the last weekend in March 27th, is Batman v Superman, motherfuckers. It is coming out that 25th, which means the episode on the 27th will be that review of that movie. It's going to be a big one. Can't wait to talk about it. So that will do it for this week's episode, guys, of Reel Me In, the movie podcast. I'm Chase Lee, and hey, listen, if you made it through this entire podcast and you're not a movie fan, well, maybe I convinced you to be one. I'll see you guys next week for another crappy episode of this show, and I have to address this before I leave because I forgot to mention it. I look really red right now because I got sunburned yesterday. So, yeah, I look like an angry cranberry or cherry right now, and I'm okay with that. So if you guys were wondering why, that's why. See you guys next week, and you guys are fucking sweet. The intro and outro music is done by my friends band Fervent Roze. Check them out. Speaking of that, let's play this shit out. Boom! See you guys later.